The year is 479 BC. The Persian Empire is the largest the world has ever seen, stretching from India to Ethiopia. But in the heart of the capital Susa, a shadow is falling. A law has been signed in blood. In less than a year, every Jewish man, woman, and child is scheduled to be executed. How did it come to this? And how could a young orphan girl, hidden in the royal harem, be the only hope for an entire nation? This is the untold story of Esther. King Xerxes was a man of excess. To celebrate his power, he threw a 180-day feast. At the climax, fueled by wine, he demanded his Queen Vashti appear before his guests to flaunt her beauty. She refused. In an empire built on absolute submission, this was an act of war. Xerxes, advised by men who feared a female uprising, stripped Vashti of her crown. The throne was empty. The search for a new queen began. Not a search for a partner, but a search for the most beautiful woman in the world. In the city lived Mordecai, a Jewish exile, and his orphaned cousin, Hadassah. When the king's soldiers came to round up the beautiful virgins, Hadassah was taken. Mordecai gave her one warning: do not tell them who you are. Do not tell them your God. Under the name Esther, she entered the house of women. For 12 months, she underwent beauty treatments with oil of myrrh and perfumes. She was being prepared for one night with the king. While others sought jewels to impress him, Esther took only what was advised. When she walked into the throne room, Xerxes didn't just see a beauty. He saw a queen. He set the royal crown on her head. The orphan was now the most powerful woman in Persia. But while Esther flourished in the palace, a villain was rising in the court. Haman, a descendant of the Amalekites, ancient enemies of the Jews, was promoted to prime minister. He demanded every knee bow to him. Mordecai refused. Driven by demonic pride, Haman decided that killing one man wasn't enough. He cast lots, the pur, to determine the date for a genocide. He convinced the king that a certain people were a threat to the empire. The decree was sent out to all 127 provinces. The Jews were marked for death. When Mordecai heard, he tore his clothes and sat at the gate in sackcloth. Esther was safe behind palace walls, but she couldn't hide forever. Mordecai sent word, do not think you will escape. If you remain silent, deliverance will come from elsewhere, but you and your father's family will perish. Then came the words that defined her life. Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther made her decision. I will go to the king, and if I perish, I perish. After 3 days of fasting, she entered the forbidden inner court. If Xerxes didn't hold out his scepter, she would be executed on the spot. He saw her. He reached out. She was safe. For now, Esther didn't accuse Haman immediately. She invited the king and Haman to a banquet, then another. Haman was so arrogant, he built a 75-foot gallows to hang Mordecai on the next morning. But that night the king couldn't sleep. He read the royal records and realized Mordecai had once saved his life and was never rewarded. The next day, Haman was forced to lead his enemy, Mordecai, through the streets in honor. At the final banquet, Esther revealed her secret. A foe has sold my people to be destroyed, she cried. The king was furious. Haman was hanged on the very gallows he built for Mordecai. The law of the Medes and Persians could not be reversed, so the king issued a new law. The Jews could defend themselves. They fought, they won, and they survived. To this day, the Feast of Purim celebrates this victory. Esther's story teaches us that God places us exactly where we need to be, even when we feel hidden. You are not where you are by accident. You are there for such a time as this.